Diet is surging in popularity. Supporters are urging health officials to give the low-carb program its seal of approval.
Joining us now is nutritionist Shari Bookvar. I can imagine how you feel about that.
Yeah, well, every 5 years, the dietary guidelines for Americans are revamped, and we are entering now into 2020 and 2025. So there's a panel of all people from different aspects of nutrition, and there are 2 people on the panel that were nominated from the beef industry as well as Atkins Nutraceuticals, or nutrition. And basically, they're hoping that their low-carb philosophy will enter into the new dietary guidelines for Americans, and it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. They usually look at about 30% or less of their calories coming from carbohydrates. It's interesting that the dietary guidelines right now recommend that you should have at least half of your grains coming from whole grains, no more than 10% of your calories coming from added sugar. So it'll be very interesting. You know, there's differences of opinions here, and the traditional people who look at studies across the board don't agree with the low-carb recommendations, and the ones that are more of the keto proponents and Atkins and a lot of the low-carb diets feel a different way. And there's really no one fit for anybody. And you know, these guidelines are made for health professionals as well as policymakers to help Americans choose what to eat. So there's going to be a lot of disagreement here.
There's a lot of special interest at play, though, in making that decision.
Absolutely, yep. So.
Okay. Well, air fryers, are they healthy? There's a big article about this in the New York Times today. Experts say that they can be a better alternative when making fried foods, but there are some concerns.
Right, we see a lot of people get these and they put them on Instagram. I just made this with my air fryer.
Yes.
You know.
Air fryers, air fryer groups, everybody sharing their recipes. So the good news is that air fryers are truly a healthy way to cook foods if you want that crispy, yummy, fried taste and crunch and flavor. It actually works similar to the way a convection oven would, where the air rotates around whatever you're cooking. Now, you have to be careful what you're actually preparing. So I like to use the example of chicken wings, because a lot of people say, have you ever had the chicken wings in an air fryer? Well, you're perhaps not getting the extra oil from deep frying it, but it's still a chicken wing, so you have to be careful with the fat and the saturated fat in it. But if you're using it for healthier foods, let's say you're making crispy Brussels sprouts or broccoli, or you're making your own baked chicken and putting it in an air fryer, I would recommend using just a little spritz of olive oil or another type of oil, and sometimes vegetables don't even need any oil at all. The thing that you have to keep in mind is how you feel about your real estate in your kitchen. It is quite big, but at the same time as being big, it doesn't cook a whole lot at once. So if you pull out that air fryer drawer, if you've ever done it before, you can do it in batches, so it can take a longer time to cook.
You're right. Now you say it does seem more like single people in my feed, you know, making one serving for themselves. Right,
it would be easy, but if you're cooking for a family and then you've got, let's say you want to air fry your baked fries and you want to air fry your baked chicken, you know, you're doing a lot of this, or you buy 2.
Do you use it, or?
You know, I've used it a couple of times. I think I bought it around Super Bowl time. You're right, it doesn't do a lot at one time, but if you do the right thing, it works really well. But guess what? It's in a closet on a shelf.
Right, and I have the same thing with mine, up and down.
It can't take up all your real estate.
And the other thing you want to do is always rotate different types of cooking, because when you cook, especially meats, when you cook at high heat, you want to be careful. Chemical compounds can be formed that could potentially be cancer causing. So we say, as with anything, rotate. So one day maybe use your air fryer, one day you bake, one day you roast. Always change it up so you never have to worry if in 10 years from now they find out, well, air frying maybe isn't so good. You don't have to worry that you always only use your air fryer. So just cook at lower temperatures when you can. The faster you can cook it, something the better. You don't want to char your meats and things like that. But it can, overall, the bottom line is that it can be a very healthy way of cooking, and definitely better than deep frying your foods.
Especially if you got space for it, which is an issue. All right, good deal. Shari Bookvar, appreciate it.